This is an intermediate English listening practice. It comes from Book 2 of the Intermediate English Comprehension series, which has over 3,000 positive reviews on Amazon. Listen carefully and use the subtitles to improve your vocabulary and comprehension. Buddhism is one of the world's major religions. It is older than Christianity and Islam, and the number of Buddhists is growing in the Western world. So what is Buddhism, and what do Buddhists believe? Buddhism is a belief system that centers on personal spiritual development and on trying to obtain a deep insight into the meaning of life. Currently, there are about 325 million Buddhists worldwide. Unlike Christians and Muslims, Buddhists do not believe in a God or creator. Because of this, Buddhism is often called a philosophy and not a religion. Buddhists believe that nothing is fixed or permanent and that change is a constant part of life. A huge part of Buddhism is the path to enlightenment. The history of Buddhism is the story of one man's spiritual journey to enlightenment or nirvana. Buddhism comes from his teachings. That man was called Siddhartha Gautama, now known as the Buddha, who was born a prince in a royal family. He lived in Nepal over 2,500 years ago. Siddhartha had never seen pain or suffering. He had never left the palace and instead lived a luxurious, privileged life. However, one day he left the palace for the first time. He walked toward the village and found an old man, a sick man, and a corpse. Siddhartha was shocked because his family had protected him from life's hardships. He was so upset that he decided to become a monk. He wanted to try and understand the meaning of life and why people suffer. Siddhartha tried many different religions, but he still didn't understand the meaning of life. Buddhists say that one day Siddhartha went and sat beneath a Bodhi tree. He began to meditate, concentrating hard. He thought about his life until he became enlightened. By finding the path to enlightenment, Siddhartha became the Buddha, or awakened one. Today, Buddhists try to reach a state of enlightenment by following Siddhartha's example. After this enlightenment, the Buddha's first lesson to others centered on the Four Noble Truths, which are the foundation of Buddhism. The truths are: 1. The truth of suffering. 2. The truth of the cause of suffering. 3. The truth of the end of suffering. 4. The truth of the path that frees us from suffering. Buddhists use these four truths to tell them where unhappiness comes from and how to end it. The fourth noble truth is the Buddha's prescription for the end of suffering. This is a set of principles called the Eightfold Path. Today, there are two major types of Buddhism. One is Theravada, the school of the elders, and the other is Mahayana, the great vehicle. Theravada has followers in Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar. Mahayana Buddhism is found throughout China, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Singapore, and Taiwan. Within Theravada and Mahayana Buddhism, there are many smaller groups such as Zen, Nichiren Buddhism, and Shingon. There is also a third kind of Buddhism called Vajrayana, which is found mainly in Tibet and Mongolia. However, some scholars classify it as a part of Mahayana Buddhism. Other well-known Buddhist ideas are karma, reincarnation, yoga, and meditation. Ideas such as yoga have become part of everyday Western life. In fact, it's easy to forget that these ideas have their origins in one man's search for the meaning of life over 2,000 years ago. If you'd like the full text with comprehension questions and vocabulary explanations, Book 2 is available on Amazon. The link is in the video description below.